Spawning here at the bottom right, we have ourselves the blue Protoss playing for the team of Afrika Freaks, and hailing from Korea is Trap. And spawning here at the top left corner of the map, he is the red Terran player. He is the machine. Playing for the team of Kaizi Gaming, it is Innovation. So I remember, like, back in the day, I think I would say maybe 2019 or so, I believe, or maybe it was 2018. I had the honors of casting an Alpha Pro Series match featuring Innovation, and we had one of those interview at the end. So if you guys don't know, we have 3 tiers in our Alpha Pro Series. There's the regular tier, which there's a base prize of 50, and then there's the Premier tier, which has a base price of 100, and then we do have the Elite tier, which has a base price of 150. So at the end of every Elite Alpha Pro Series, we do have a kind of a winner's interview with Hanji-san, or at least some Korean translator. And we were able to interview Innovation, and I had this sudden urge because Innovation always reminded me of One Punch Man. If you guys watch the anime One Punch Man, he kind of reminds me of him. So I had the urge to just ask him, like, have you ever been told, like, have you ever been told, oh, hey, Kozen. I see Kozen in the chat. Yeah, One Punch Man is great. It's a great anime. If you guys haven't seen that, I believe it's in Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he reminded me of One Punch Man for some reason. And so I asked him. I had the urge to ask him that. Unfortunately, he did not see the anime One Punch Man, so he wasn't sure what I was talking about, unfortunately. But then there was another anime, because the creator of One Punch Man did also create. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's hold that thought. There is a little bit of a harass here by this depth. We'll be able to pick off a few Marines here and there, but nothing too crazy. But back to the story. Anyhow, there was the creator of the One Punch Man anime also made the Psycho Mob anime as well, and that main character even looks more like Innovation. Maybe I can, in the future, I'll ask him if he has seen those animes, and I mean, if you just kind of like Google it, you can definitely see the resemblance, I would say. Size Matter saying One Punch Man is OP. Need to nerf. You know what? That is a valid statement. There's even this YouTube clip or animation of Superman versus One Punch Man, and it's like a 1v1 fight. It was animated, of course, for fun. You should definitely check that out if you haven't done so yet. I mean, it's pretty well done, I gotta say. Tech XS9 saying yikes. And there was I was thinking of DreamHack casters are the only ones with the weird questions. You at the time, hosting, high level Korean events was just so exciting, and it was something so new that I wasn't sure I was ever going to get a chance to interview Innovation. So I took my chance. It was probably not a appropriate question, a professional question to ask, but hey, you know what? You had that one chance to, because you never know if you're going to be able to cast a game with Innovation, or interview him at the very least. And so I took a little bit of a risk here there. And who would have known? Alpha X has grown to the point where hosting Korean high-level Korean events has been the norm. We host it every week on to this Trovo channel, so make sure to follow our channel. Let's get back into the game here. I've been kind of rambling a little bit and kind of missed some action. We do see some oh, nice force field. That's gonna buy some time for the shield batteries, but Innovation has done what he's seeked out for, is to cancel that dirt nexus, and that he has done. So even though he is not able to further go in with this infantry group, he at least gets the cancel onto that dirt nexus, and that means that at the very least he will keep up in the economy. Although he probably should start throwing down his dirt CC, but he is trying to defend these DTs, trying to get these turrets up. Oh, actually, he does have a turret up there. Okay, he is fine. He's fine. All right, a little bit of a Colossus transition coming out here. I'm not quite a fan of Colossus army on this map, only because there's so many open space that it allows the Terran players to very easily surround the Colossus army, and kind of mitigate some of that splash damage. So I mean, I've seen some Protosses go for Colossus tech on this map. I'm just not personally a fan of it. I feel like maybe Disruptor would be better, or just a pure like mass gateway or something like that. But let's see if Trap can pull it off. Maybe he can prove me wrong and make me a believer. In the meantime, a little bit of a nice Archon harass. Now, it's very important to note that there is no dirt CC yet for Innovation. Right now, it's like approaching the 7.5-minute mark. I would say like this is I mean, this attack is gonna have to do some decent damage to make up for the very delayed CC there, the dirt CC. Trap though, he does have 2 Colossus, throwing down additional shield oh, actually no, just a cannon. He does have 1 shield battery there, so oh, nice little force field. We'll go ahead and lock some of that army up and cut it in half, and really nicely defended there by Trap, I gotta say, suffering very minimal losses. And now he's got the dirt Colossus as well joining up, and so that is gonna definitely shut down this push here. Innovation's gonna go ahead and try to attempt a big drop here, but smartly, Trap does have a scouter pylon there. Very smart. If you're not gonna have observer or maybe a charge lot out there to scout, you definitely want to at least throw down a pylon. And right now, that is going to go ahead and allow him to start warping in here, get his army into place. And as you can see, Innovation is going to go ahead and force back and think twice and not attempt that drop. He does try to drop into the natural, but again, Trap just has such a good defensive posture here. He's got his army split up very well, not overcommitting the whole entire army into one side, knowing very well that Innovation is very competent in terms of drop play. He is a very aggressive type of Terran player, so drop play is a very common thing for Innovation. But you know what, Trap, gotta give credit. He has defended so far very well. I feel like I've been saying very a lot of times this past minute or two. You get the points. It looks like Trap is ready for a counter attack, a big, huge timing attack with possibly blink in time. He might want to wait a little bit before this attack. Just wait for the blink to finish before engaging. That should allow the Stalkers to kind of blink on top of the or under the Vikings and the tanks. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and feel confident enough to engage before then. He might just have enough, just too much on the ground to even care about that blink upgrade. Oh man, a lot of these Bio armies getting grouped up and clumped up. These Colossus getting a lot of firepower. All these Colossus still standing strong, and Trap will take a really solid win here. Very, very well played by Trap. Didn't suffer too much damage and was just able to go for a straight up timing attack. So kind of a very classic straight up textbook TVP there. And that means that puts Trap in the position where he is one game away from advancing to the playoffs. Now, let's go ahead and take a look back here into the Wikipedia page. As you can see, very, very important to get into the top 4, because as you can see on the prize pool, if you make it to the playoffs, you go home with at least $150. That's $100 more than 5th to 8th place. So if you can punch your way into the playoffs, you get a nice hefty prize pool bump from that. So Trap in prime position to do exactly that. Alright, looks like our second map will be on the map of Oxide. And let's get right into it here, spawning at the top right corner of the map. He is one game away from advancing to the playoffs. Can he do it? It is Trap. And here at the bottom left corner of the map, his back is against the wall. He needs to win this game to tie up the series and push it to a decisive third game. Can Innovation do it? As I said, he is Innovation. Alright, so Oxide LE. Now this is one of the maps that, unlike the last map on the Romanticide, I would say Colossus play is kind of decent. There are still some open spaces where it's not favorable to the Protoss to engage with the Colossus army, but there are also a lot of crooks and crannies, like here, where you can, you know, force fields, or at least it kind of makes it favorable for a Colossus type army, because you're gonna have to funnel in your army through that that pathway, and the thermal lance does get some decent splash damage from that. So I like Colossus armies a lot more on this map compared to the last map. The question is, will he go for it? I definitely can imagine Trap going for a Phoenix type opening. I think Phoenix can be pretty good in this map, only because the map is very zigzaggy. So kind of maneuvering your army, you know, back and forth, left and right, it's a bit more problematic. There's no like straightforward path unless you kind of kill off the rocks in this area. There's really not a lot of straightforward paths. You got to kind of go to the sides to kind of circumvent and go across the map. So, you know, with Phoenixes, you don't really need to worry about that too much. You can just fly over all the rocks and all the cliffs and everything in between. This time around, looks like we're gonna have ourselves Twilight Council. Alright, whether this is for DT plays or whether this is for Blink play, we shall see. In the meantime though, this Adept will go ahead and delay some of the mining time. The probe does go down though. Doesn't really do too much. But as you can see, Innovation is sneakily throwing down a proxy starport. And with that reactor on that factory, I smell a Hellion drop on the way here. The the question is, does Trap smell this as well? At the very least, he does see with the depth shade that there are Hellion openings. So he should be very, very wary that this is a possibility. Especially, yeah, he does see all these Hellions. He should be immediately throwing down a building to completely wall off, or at least build a shield battery with a unit there to park at the front. And he should just be sending all his units to the main base right now. Alright, where is that medevac? Alright, there we go. Medevac has joined up with the Hellion Force, and the dropping will commence. Let's see how many probes can Innovation get. Now, there is no shield battery here in the mineral line, so these Hellions doing some decent damage. Getting 5 probes here. So definitely not too shabby. Although I'm sure he wants a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and try to find an opening here in the natural. Unfortunately, we'll be greeted with those adepts. And the trap will go ahead and clean that up very, very easily. In the meantime, a trap did actually make a DTs. And he got 9 SCV kills. So all those 5 pros that just died in the beginning of the game, that has been pretty much rendered useless with these dead SCVs. Oh, not quite able to save that last DT and loses that warp prism. Okay, there we go. Now the tides have turned a little bit. Makes up a little bit for the loss, the additional loss 4 SCVs compared to the 5 of a trap. So all in all, let's see here, 10 SCVs going down and 6 probes going down. But more importantly, that medevac, or not that medevac, that warp prism and those 3 DTs did go down. I would have really loved it if Trap could have just kind of abandoned it and just saved his warp prism. It was a little bit of a risky play, kind of going back into attempt to save that DT, but I mean, I could understand. Actually, we're gonna have ourselves another Hellion drop. This time around, we'll have a shield battery to protect these little probies. So, not gonna get a lot done here with these Hellions. Alright, huge attack here at the front gates. All the DTs get evaporated. Oh wow, there's just absolutely nothing here to defend against this, and then Innovation will keep its hopes alive and tie up the series. So guys, we are headed to a game number 3 here to decide who will be the first person to make it to the playoffs. GG, well played there. And thank you, Sushi, for typing into the exclamation match into the chat, guys. If you haven't done so, head on over there quickly before this next game starts. Just enter the coupon code ITaX PC5. That will go ahead and add 50 cents to the prize pool, absolutely free. You don't need to pay out of money. Matcherino is such a helpful tool here for the esports community. Let's take advantage of it. If we can use up all the coupon codes, that will definitely make the players very, very happy. Just imagine it as a kind of Valentine's Day gift to our players, because boy, do we love all these players, right? I mean, Trap, Patience, Innovation, Cure, they're taking time out of the day to put up all these awesome, entertaining games. Let's go ahead and kind of thank them a little bit for that, right? And plus, it's free. Who doesn't love free money? Alright, as you go ahead and enter those coupon codes into the Matcherino, let's go ahead and introduce our first player here on the right side, the bottom right side of the map. He's playing for Afrika Freaks. It is Trap. And spawning here at the top left side, he is the red Terran player. playing for Kai Z Gaming. It is innovation. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit surprised that both these players chose Submarine. You would imagine that they'll play some other map like Death Aura or something. Or maybe Pillars of Gold But Submarine, sometimes we can have some wonky games. Partly due to, of course, the map size. We'll see if this is going to be one of those games. Let's see here. Now, I definitely don't expect Innovation to go for that same Hellion medevac drop. I mean, this map has a smaller main base, I feel like. So, scouting those Hellions would be easier compared to the map on Oxide. Unfortunately, therefore, Trap will lose his initial probe. Should have probably expected the timing to be about 1 minute and 50 seconds. That's when the first Marine usually comes out, while the Reaper comes out in the 2-minute mark. So you want to kind of evacuate your pros back to home around the, let's say, 1 minute and 45-second mark. But I guess he wasn't quite paying attention, or on top of that. Now there is once again going to be the proxy, a proxy, but this time around it's going to be a proxy factory, not a proxy starport like last game. This is going to be unscouted, especially since there's no adepts to shade in, and also the stalker is not going to sacrifice his life to get that deep into the Terran's base. So this is going to, I mean, Trap is going to be relatively in the dark for the time being. Now the question is, what is this gonna be? Oh, tech lab on the factory. This is gonna be for a tank push, tank timing of some sort. Let's see if Trap can somehow scout this. So far, oh, he actually does let the depth shade in, and Trap is gonna have a full vision of what is inside the main base. Does see at least 2 racks, and he's got to be wondering, where is this factory? Because at this point you should at least have either 3 racks or 2 racks in the factory, right? But no racks. He should have an inkling, or at least his spidey senses should be tingling, and you can see he is throwing down some shield battery. He is anticipating some kind of push. Now Trap, he did go for a Stargate opening, so he is going to have a Phoenix to lift up the tank, but it looks like he's following that up with the Oracle. So probably not a lot of Phoenix to go around to pick up the tanks. I mean, Innovation can very, very easily snipe them out with those Marines if he can focus fire on them. And so far, this tank play has yet been scouted. So far, Trap is still not completely aware of what's happening or what is going on. In his mind, it could very, very well be a proxy Banshee of some sort, right? But I think with no factory, I think he should be thinking like, okay, yeah, something is definitely wrong. There's definitely a proxy factory out there somewhere, especially with no dirt racks. This is not like a 3 racks push that you sometimes see out of Terran players. Oh wow, these tanks are kind of a little bit vulnerable. Will allow Trap to snipe that first initial tank. However, there's still a lot of Marines here left over. That is going to focus fire on that shield battery. Oh no, that was his only shield battery. There's no second shield battery to help defend against this push. And look at this, these 2 gateways all at the front. That is going to go ahead and cancel out some and limit some of the warpings that Trap is going to be capable of. A lot of his gateways are still in progress, so he is going to have to buy some time. But how can he buy some time without any shield battery? That's the question. And right now, it's getting a little dire. He feels like he has to shut this down right now, but he just doesn't quite have enough on the ground here to clean up the rest. We'll take out one tank, but there are still 2 tanks on the back. The bunker goes up. That's going to make this hold even more harder to defend. This robotics facility has gone unpowered. Unfortunately, this pylon is not in range to power up at this robotics facility. It's looking very, very dire for our blue proton. That's going to force Trap to make a Void Ray out of his Stargate. Maybe he can kind of pick off some of these reinforcement with this one Void Ray, but that's a big if. And oh, just overextends, and we'll lose this. We'll lose that Void Ray. Oh man, he does clean up the rest of the tank though, but there are absolutely nothing left over for these Marines. These are slow warpings from these stalkers, so these Marines are going to be able to just snipe them down immediately while they come to life. Unfortunate for them, losing their lives so quickly as they come into this world. But Innovation is going to go ahead and march right into the main base with these Marines. It's the march to the death for this Protons, and Trap is unfortunately going to go down to Innovation. I just don't see him being able to win from this point forward. Even if he magically cleans them up, he has lost just too much here. 27 probes going down, and more red reinforcement coming and streaming across the map, and GG! Innovation punches his ticket to the playoffs. Well played.